Hello. Welcome back to Your Soul Revolution. It seems like I haven't been with you guys in a while because I pre-recorded a couple podcasts while I was traveling the last few weeks. So I'm super excited to be back live recording closer to when it's released in a couple of days. Um, it has been like major upgrade season for me. I don't know about you guys. But with the eclipses, like the last 6 weeks and everything else, it's been a lot. And today I want to talk about relationships. I have a few things to share. I feel like this is very appropriate because we are currently in Taurus season, and Taurus is in my seventh house of relationships, partnerships, collaborations, one on one, clients, all the things for me. And especially because I was traveling the last few weeks and seeing friends, seeing family. And like I said, the eclipses before that, I feel like this entire year has been um, a lot of going deep and really deciding what I want out of, well, a lot of things, but relationships specifically. And I just look at where I've come. Like when I got to Ireland 5 years ago, I was like in my 30s, alone in a new country. I didn't know anyone. And like I think I've said before, making friendships as an adult is very underrated. And I just look back over the last few years, and I'm at a point in my life now where I have like soul friendships with a handful of people that I feel very grateful for, privileged to call my friends. We both like commit time and energy. And these relationships have deepened in my life, and it's something that gives me life in a way I could have never imagined. And I just think back to only a few years ago when I was like, am I going to find friends? Like, am I the weirdo? I've never really felt like I fit in. And so I was like, I don't want to be this fake person. I don't want to show up and put a mask on and be who I think I need to be for people to love me. I want to be myself and find the other weirdos, silly, mushy unicorns, or at least the ones who can appreciate my mushy unicornness. And so I wanted to talk about that today because I'm not someone who's been like, who's ever really had, like 10, 15 friends. I've never had a lot of friends. And previously, I would have definitely been a people pleaser to, again, be who I thought I needed to be. And so my friendships, I don't feel like, not that they weren't real, but they weren't deep. They weren't based on like fully being myself. And for a while, that really triggered me to like look back and think on how I showed up and like what that meant for like what I had created in the past. But there's no point in spending time on the past because it all has brought me here to who I am today. And I love me now and I love my relationships now. So, but it's definitely quality over quantity for me. And I think even if you look around and you have one person that if like shit hits the fan, or if you need help, or you need a hug, or you need love, or you need just confirmation, like that you are on the right path, um, count yourself lucky to have one person. And it started like with one for me. And now, like I said, I have four or five, and it's it's not an overnight thing. Like, stop trying to force the ones that don't feel right. And like there was like this energy, and I like met and interacted with a lot of groups when I moved here, and like a lot of people got along and like liked each other. And I was like, I feel like I have to like these people because they all like each other. And I'm like, what if these just aren't my people? And that's okay. Like, don't again people please or like show up as someone you're not just to fit in or just to belong or just to get that attention, because it's not going to be lasting and it's not going to really fill your cup. It's like that dopamine hit that gives you the instant gratification, but then later you're like, well, that's not actually really being loved for who I am because I'm not even showing up as who I am. So I think, as especially for me, like learning my human design has really helped as well because, first of all, I unapologetically show up as the weirdo I am and I don't care. And I know that the people who love me for me will show up in my life. But as a conscious projector, like I need to be invited to share my gifts. And it really only applies to like your career, your legacy, like sharing your gifts and your work in the world. You don't necessarily need to be invited for like anything and everything, but just knowing this about me, I've had like the biggest realizations that being around people who don't recognize me for me, don't appreciate me for who I am, what I bring to the table, is like death for me. And now that I've gone on this massive journey of connecting to who I am, expressing the fullness of who I am, showing up as who I am, anything that's not that feels like death to me. Like letting, like my soul is dying inside if I can't show up as who I am. And so when I'm around people that don't get me, that don't see me, that don't recognize me, that don't reflect back who I am, it's not even about like, I used to feel like I had to be nice to everyone and like I was being a bitch if I ended the relationship or stopped hanging out with certain people. But when you people please and when you prioritize the needs of someone else or say like I should keep this friendship or I should show up for this person even though they're not reciprocating, you're abandoning your true self every time you do that. And to me, that's a non-negotiable. Like I cannot do that. And I've realized in the last few weeks, especially when I'm around people that aren't on my path, that aren't as spiritual, that aren't taking risks and um, diving deep into like becoming more of themselves and being a better person and all these things, that like my gifts, who I am, like won't make sense to them and they can't see me for me. And I just have to choose to not spend my time or limit my time with those people. And I know that when it's family, it's harder and it's a very gray area. And depending on who you talk to, you'll get a different answer. And really, there is no answer because you have to do what's right for you and not listen to anyone else. But honestly, I don't care who it is. Like, if that person doesn't make you feel safe, make you feel seen, make you feel loved, then I would question how much time you're spending. And especially now that we're in Taurus season, we're really like slowing down, being intentional, finding like the small pleasures in life, or finding joy in the small things, like grounding, just like loving on ourselves. And that includes our relationships. And where are you, like, when we think about Taurus, a lot of times we think about money and safety and security, but how can we find safety and security in ourselves? How can we find safety and security with the people in our lives? Like we say, we spend time, right? Spending, like money, time. Are you spending your time doing the things you love, doing the things that make you come alive, with the people that make you feel lit up, that make you feel special, that make you feel like more of who you are, to like held but free to be yourself, right? And then, like, where are you putting your attention? Where are you paying attention? Again, paying like money, but paying attention. Where is your attention going? Are you paying attention to the people who are never going to give you what you desire? Are you paying attention to the people who like need your help, but they're never going to help you back? People who are like you're leaking energy to, you're giving your power away to, you're abandoning yourself for. And I have realized like myself, I'm really good at knowing other people's needs because I'm very intuitive. I can tap in, I can tell energetically what's going on. I can hear like what's not being said and I know what people need, right? But I'm really bad at putting my needs first. And especially like for close friends and family, I'm always going to put them first. And I've realized I need to stop doing that. And the people that love you for you and know who you are and know what you need and know what lights you up and know what drives you are gonna support you in putting yourself first. Like our happiness is on us. Our success is on us. Our satisfaction is on us. Our peace is on us. No one else is coming to save you. No one else is going to give you permission to create those things. You have to create them yourself. So, like I've said before, the people around you are your reflection of who you are. If you're not feeling safe, if you're not feeling nurtured, if you're not feeling held, like maybe it's time to start questioning who you're surrounding yourself with. And maybe it's time to stop listening to everyone else like if this then that, or you should be doing this, or this is what it looks like in society, or this is what so and so says. And I don't care how vibey their Instagram looks or how many friends they show up with on Instagram or whatever. Like the only advice you need to be taking is yours. Does my nervous system feel safe around this person? Do I feel like I can be the weirdo silly goose that I am around this person? Can I like keep growing and becoming more myself and change? And will they support that, or will they like keep me in this box of who I've been? Right. And I think that, like, there's been studies about happiness and how like true deep friendships really do give you more happiness in life. And I think like the opposite is true. If you're around the wrong people, it will influence you. Like the pandemic, COVID showed me this. Like, depending on who you were hanging around with, like your reality looked very fucking different. And I will continue to fight for staying in my mushy unicorn world. And I don't care what anybody else says or does. Like, I'm anchored into my truth, I'm anchored into who I am. And so I know who I want to surround myself with. So, how can you get intentional this season? How can you devote yourself to the relationships that reciprocate? How can you devote yourself to your relationship in finding more joy, finding more pleasure, finding more happiness, finding more success, finding more peace, in slowing it down and savoring and taking it all in? Where do you need to look at what relationships just no longer fit? And it doesn't make you a bad person, and it doesn't mean you messed up, and it doesn't mean you failed as a friend. Some people come to love us forever, some people come to love us for a time, and some people come to teach us what love isn't. And it's all on purpose, and none of it was by accident, and everything happened as it was meant to. You're exactly where you're meant to be, but you can adjust. You can continue to ask, who is really reflecting back the version of me that I want to see? Who is really showing up for me? Who is really showing up for themselves? Because that's something I value. So I just wanted to share this because I think it's a really good time to make sure that your life is full of people that give you what you need, give you what you desire, and that it's that you're giving and receiving. Like if it feels like you're giving more than you're receiving, that's a sign you should start asking yourself some questions, maybe make some shifts. Where can you look at the relationships in your life and where you're paying attention, where you're spending your time, where you're giving your energy? Like, I know my energy is my most valuable resource in this world. And when I'm with certain people, it's like it just drops. And I don't, but then I can't show up. Then it like my energy leaks. I feel like I just want to sleep all day. I have no energy to do my podcast or share my gifts or share my work or work with clients when I'm with the wrong people. And for me, that's just way too big of a price to pay. It's not something I'm willing to give up on anymore or to give into anymore. It's not something I'm willing to waver on, to people please, to keep abandoning myself for the sake of someone else or who I thought I had to be or who I've been in the past. Are the people around us like give us life? Like I said, we have to be who we are for ourselves first, but like the people around us are a big influence on our life. And it only takes, like I said, one other person to make you feel more alive, more lit up, more loved. And make sure you're choosing the right people. Make sure you're giving to the right places that are giving back. And then go all in, turn it up even more. Like like I said, devote yourself to those relationships where you spend your time, where you pay attention, where you give your love, and allow yourself to go deeper, to be seen a little bit more for like the parts that you didn't maybe love about yourself or are a little weirder or whatever. Like, let it all out, express it all, let yourself shine. You were made perfectly, and everything, even the quirks, even the imperfections that you see, make you perfect for who you came here to be and for what you came here to do. And the people in your life will influence that. So make sure they're the right ones. And again, welcome to your soul revolution. This is what we're doing here. We're creating a vibey space where we are saying fuck yes to our soul path, to our soul life, to what makes us come alive, encouraging other people to do the same. So if you're looking for relationships of soul sisters, of like-hearted people, welcome. Come in, stay for a while, listen to these episodes, leave comments, like find other people in the comments, find other people who are sharing and showing up here in this community because that's what I want to create. Like I said, it wasn't easy for me. It took time. And now I get to look back and look at where I am and say, like, oh my God, these relationships are mine. I have the relationships I've always dreamed of. And it's on us to create that. So, yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. It means the world to me that you're here. I hope this resonates. Again, my goal is just to share from my soul to yours and hope that it resonates, that it makes you feel less alone, that it makes you feel heard, that it gives you permission to be more of yourself, to be more weird, to be more everything, and to give yourself the grace and compassion you need to keep going because life is just fucking hard sometimes. And relationships are just fucking hard. So give yourself some grace, give yourself some compassion, give yourself some love. And I'm reflecting that back to you. I'm here loving you. I'm proud of you. I'm so glad you're here. It would mean the world to me if you would share this podcast with your besties, with your soul sisters, someone who needs to hear it. And please, please, if you have 30 seconds, leave a review. It means the world to me. It matters. It helps me grow. It helps this show get in front of all the people who need to hear it. So thank you. I love you. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Mwah.